What if one of America's most irresistible comfort foods was hiding more nutritional value than most people realize? What if that sweet and spicy combination exploding across your taste buds wasn't just satisfying your cravings, but also delivering proteins, minerals, energy-supporting nutrients, and even compounds linked to better metabolic health? Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "There's no way a chicken sandwich belongs in a health conversation," stay with me. Because today's story isn't about fast food.
It's about understanding what happens when simple ingredients, chicken, honey, spices, whole grains, and carefully chosen toppings come together in a way that may surprise you. Millions of Americans eat sandwiches every week. But very few understand the science behind why some versions leave them sluggish and hungry, while others can provide lasting energy, muscle-supporting protein, and nutrients your body actually needs. And here's the twist. One ingredient inside the famous hot honey chicken sandwich has been used for thousands of years as both food and medicine. Another ingredient is one of the most effective sources of complete protein available.
And one spicy component may even influence the way your body responds to calories. So before you take your next bite, let's uncover the fascinating truth behind one of America's favorite flavor combinations. Because by the end of this video, you may never look at a hot honey chicken sandwich the same way again. The hot honey chicken sandwich has exploded in popularity across the United States. From local restaurants to major food chains, this sweet, spicy, crispy creation seems to be everywhere. But popularity alone doesn't make something interesting. What makes this sandwich fascinating is the combination of ingredients: lean chicken, natural honey, spices, bread, fresh vegetables. Each component contributes something unique. And when combined thoughtfully, they create much more than a satisfying meal. Today's goal is not to convince you that every chicken sandwich is healthy. Far from it. The quality of ingredients matters. Preparation methods matter. Portion sizes matter. But when built with intention, a hot honey chicken sandwich can fit surprisingly well into a balanced lifestyle. Throughout this video, we'll explore the history behind hot honey, uncover little-known nutrition facts, separate myths from reality, and reveal the health-supporting qualities hidden inside this iconic meal.
And some of the findings may surprise even long-time health enthusiasts.
Let's start with the ingredient that transformed an ordinary chicken sandwich into a cultural phenomenon: hot honey. Today, it feels trendy, modern, almost new. But its roots stretch much farther back than most people realize. For thousands of years, civilizations around the world valued honey not only as food, but also as a precious natural resource. Ancient cultures from Egypt to Greece treasured honey for its unique properties. Long before refined sugar dominated modern diets, honey served as one of nature's most important sweeteners. Then came the spice element. Across Asia, Africa, and Latin America, cooks discovered something remarkable. Sweet and spicy flavors created a sensory experience unlike anything else. One flavor amplified the other. The sweetness softened the heat. The heat intensified the sweetness. Together, they created balance. Fast forward to modern America. Chefs began pairing spicy honey with fried chicken. The result? An explosion of flavor that quickly captured attention nationwide. But flavor is only part of the story, because both honey and chili peppers contain naturally occurring compounds that scientists continue studying today. And that's where things become truly interesting, because the same ingredients people crave for taste may also influence how satisfied they feel after eating. And that brings us to the first major health benefit: protein, the nutritional superstar hiding in plain sight. As we age, one of the biggest threats to long-term health isn't necessarily weight gain, it's muscle loss. Many Americans begin gradually losing muscle mass after age 30. The process is slow, almost invisible, but over time it affects strength, mobility, metabolism, and independence. This is where chicken becomes incredibly valuable. Chicken is considered a complete protein source. That means it contains all essential amino acids your body requires. These amino acids act like building blocks. Every movement, every workout,
Every repair process inside your body depends on them. And unlike many highly processed foods that provide calories without much nutritional value, quality chicken delivers substantial protein that helps support muscle maintenance. Why does this matter? Because stronger muscles are linked with better mobility, better balance, greater independence, and healthier aging overall. Imagine two people entering their 60s. One has spent years consistently consuming adequate protein. The other has not. The difference in strength, energy, and physical resilience can be dramatic. Now here's where things get even more fascinating. Protein doesn't only support muscles.
It also helps increase feelings of fullness, meaning you may feel satisfied longer after eating, and that can influence eating habits throughout the rest of the day. But protein is only the beginning, because the sweet ingredient dripping across that sandwich may have a story all its own. A story involving antioxidants, natural compounds, and surprising nutritional complexity. And that's exactly where we're headed next.
When most people hear the word honey, they immediately think of sugar. And technically, they're not wrong. Honey does contain natural sugars. But here's where things become interesting. Unlike highly refined sugar, honey is a remarkably complex natural food. Inside a single spoonful are trace amounts of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, enzymes, and plant compounds that originate from flowers. Scientists have spent decades studying these naturally occurring substances. And while honey should never be viewed as a miracle food, research continues exploring its potential role in supporting overall wellness. One reason honey stands out is its antioxidant content.
Antioxidants help neutralize unstable molecules, often called free radicals. Over time, excessive free radical activity may contribute to cellular stress. Think of it like rust forming on metal. The process is gradual, almost invisible, yet year after year the effects accumulate. Your body has built-in defenses against this process, and foods rich in antioxidants may help support those natural defenses. Now imagine pairing that natural sweetness with protein-rich chicken. The result isn't merely delicious. It creates a combination of fast and sustained energy sources that many people find satisfying. But honey isn't the only surprising ingredient in the sandwich.
Because the spicy kick may be doing something unexpected inside your body. And that's where our story gets even more fascinating. Why do some people absolutely love spicy foods? At first glance, it seems strange. After all, spice creates heat, sometimes even discomfort. Yet millions of people actively seek it out. The answer lies in a remarkable natural compound called capsaicin. Capsaicin is responsible for much of the heat found in chili peppers. And over the years, researchers have become increasingly interested in its effects on the human body. Some studies suggest spicy foods may temporarily increase energy expenditure.
Others explore potential influences on appetite and satiety. Now, let's be clear. Eating spicy food won't magically melt away body fat. No food can do that. But many people report feeling more satisfied after meals that include moderate spice. That satisfaction can make healthy eating patterns easier to maintain. There's also another reason spicy foods are intriguing. They create a stronger sensory experience. And when food feels exciting, people often feel more satisfied with reasonable portions. This is one reason the sweet and spicy combination works so well. The honey comforts. The spice stimulates. The protein satisfies.
Together, they create a meal that feels indulgent while still offering nutritional value. But wait until you hear what this combination may do for your energy levels. because that might be one of the biggest surprises yet.
Have you ever eaten a meal that left you feeling exhausted an hour later? Many Americans know that feeling all too well. You eat, you feel great, then suddenly, your energy disappears. The reason often comes down to meal composition. Meals dominated by highly processed carbohydrates can sometimes lead to rapid rises and falls in blood sugar. And when that happens, energy can feel unpredictable. A well-constructed hot honey chicken sandwich may offer a different experience. Why? Because protein slows digestion. Fiber-rich toppings can support steadier energy release. And whole grain bread may provide more sustained fuel compared to heavily refined alternatives.
Think of your body like a fireplace. Some fuels burn fast and disappear quickly. Others burn steadily and consistently. The goal isn't simply getting energy, it's maintaining energy. That's why so many nutrition experts emphasize balanced meals. Protein, fiber, healthy carbohydrates, reasonable portions. When these pieces come together, your body often responds differently, and that can influence everything from productivity to mood. But energy isn't the only thing affected by food choices. What happens in your gut may be even more important, because scientists now believe your digestive system plays a massive role in overall health.
And that brings us to one of the most overlooked aspects of this sandwich. For decades, digestion was viewed like a relatively simple process. Food goes in, nutrients come out. End of story. Today, we know it's far more complex. Your digestive system influences nutrient absorption, immune function, energy production, and potentially even mood. That's why the toppings inside your sandwich matter. Fresh vegetables like lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles don't simply add flavor. They contribute fiber, and fiber plays a critical role in digestive health. Most Americans consume less fiber than experts recommend.
That's a problem, because fiber helps support healthy digestion and promotes feelings of fullness. Whole grain buns can contribute even more. Suddenly, a sandwich becomes more than bread and meat. It becomes a vehicle for multiple nutrients working together. And here's something many people overlook. Healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes, small improvements create meaningful results. Choosing whole grains, adding vegetables, using quality ingredients. Those simple decisions add up over time. Just like poor habits accumulate, healthy habits compound too. And in the next section, we'll explore one of the biggest questions viewers always ask.
Can a hot honey chicken sandwich actually fit into a weight management lifestyle? The answer may surprise you.
Let's address one of the biggest misconceptions in nutrition. Many people believe successful weight management requires giving up every food they enjoy. No burgers, no sandwiches, no comfort food, no exceptions. But for most people, that approach doesn't last. The truth is that long-term success often comes from sustainability, not perfection. And that's where a thoughtfully prepared hot honey chicken sandwich becomes interesting. Protein is one of the most satisfying nutrients you can eat. In fact, many people feel fuller after protein-rich meals compared to meals dominated by refined carbohydrates. When you feel satisfied,
You're often less likely to keep searching for snacks an hour later. That's important, because hunger isn't just about willpower, it's biology. If your meals leave you constantly hungry, staying on track becomes much harder. Now imagine a sandwich built with grilled or lightly breaded chicken, fresh vegetables, a reasonable amount of hot honey, and a quality whole grain bun. Suddenly, you're looking at a meal that can provide flavor, satisfaction, and nutrition all at once. The goal isn't deprivation. The goal is balance. And balance is often what people overlook. But weight management is only one piece of the puzzle, because protecting your heart may be even more important.
And some of the ingredients in this sandwich contribute more than you might think. Heart disease remains one of the leading health concerns in America, which means every meal is an opportunity, not an opportunity for perfection, but an opportunity to make slightly better choices. Many people are surprised to learn that lean chicken can be part of a heart-conscious eating pattern. Compared with some heavily processed meats, skinless chicken breast provides substantial protein with relatively lower saturated fat. And when paired with vegetables, the nutritional picture improves even further. Tomatoes provide beneficial plant compounds. Leafy greens contribute vitamins and minerals. Onions contain naturally occurring phytochemicals that researchers continue studying. No single ingredient guarantees a healthy heart. That's not how nutrition works. But patterns matter. Daily habits matter. Small choices matter. Imagine making a slightly healthier choice once. Not a big deal. Now imagine repeating that choice hundreds of times per year. That's where transformation begins. And speaking of transformation, what if the foods you eat could influence how your brain performs throughout the day? The answer may be closer than you think.
Your brain is one of the most energy-demanding organs in your body. Although it represents only a small percentage of your total weight, it consumes a remarkable amount of energy. That means the foods you choose can influence how you feel mentally. Protein-rich foods provide amino acids, and amino acids are involved in producing important compounds used throughout the nervous system. Meanwhile, steady energy from balanced meals may help support focus and concentration. Think about the difference between a roller coaster and a train. A roller coaster shoots upward and crashes downward. A train moves steadily towards its destination. Your energy can work the same way.
Meals that combine protein, fiber, and quality carbohydrates often help create a more stable experience. Many people notice they feel more focused and productive after balanced meals. And while nutrition alone won't turn anyone into a genius, it can support the systems your brain relies on every day. But your brain isn't the only part of your body that benefits from good nutrition. Because hidden deep within your immune system, another fascinating story is unfolding. Every single day, your immune system works behind the scenes, silently, constantly, without applause, without recognition. It's one of the most remarkable systems in the human body.
And it depends heavily on nutrition. Protein plays a critical role in supporting immune function. Many immune cells rely on amino acids to grow and operate properly. That's one reason adequate protein intake becomes especially important as we age. Vegetables add vitamins and antioxidants. Honey contributes naturally occurring plant compounds. Spices introduce additional bioactive substances. Together, these ingredients create something more powerful than any single component alone. This is one of the biggest lessons in nutrition. Foods don't work in isolation. They work together, like instruments in an orchestra. Each ingredient contributes its own note.
And when combined thoughtfully, the result becomes far more impressive. But perhaps the most fascinating benefit is still ahead. Because what if some of these ingredients could play a role in how gracefully we age? And that question takes us into one of the most exciting areas of modern wellness.
What does it really mean to age well? For many people, it's not simply about living longer. It's about living better. Having the energy to travel, play with grandchildren, walk without discomfort, stay independent, remain engaged with life. And surprisingly, one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging isn't found in a supplement bottle. It's found in everyday habits. Researchers studying longevity often notice common themes: adequate protein intake, balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, healthy body composition, strong social connections, consistent sleep.
The hot honey chicken sandwich fits into this conversation because it can support one of those key pillars, protein intake. As people age, maintaining muscle becomes increasingly important. Muscle isn't just about appearance, it's a reserve of strength, mobility, resilience, protection. The stronger you remain later in life, the more freedom you often retain, and freedom may be one of the greatest health benefits of all. But longevity isn't only about muscles, because aging also shows itself somewhere else first, somewhere every one of us sees every day: the mirror. Most people think skin health begins with creams, lotions, serums, expensive treatments.
But skin is built from the inside out. Every day, your body creates new skin cells, and those cells require nutrients. Protein provides amino acids that support tissue maintenance. Vegetables contribute vitamins and antioxidants. Hydration supports skin function. Balanced nutrition helps provide the raw materials your body uses daily. No sandwich can erase wrinkles. No food can stop aging. But consistent healthy eating patterns may support healthier-looking skin over time. Think of your body like a house. You can paint the exterior beautifully, but if the materials inside are weak, the structure eventually shows signs of wear. Nutrition helps provide those building materials.
And that's why wellness experts often focus less on miracle products and more on daily habits. Because daily habits are what truly shape long-term outcomes. But here's something even more immediate. Something people often notice within days rather than years. Energy recovery.
Imagine two people finishing the exact same workout. Both put in the effort. Both burn similar calories. But afterward, their recovery looks very different. One provides their body with adequate nutrients. The other doesn't. Who do you think feels better tomorrow? Recovery is where adaptation happens. It's where your body rebuilds, repairs, strengthens, and prepares for future challenges. Protein plays a central role in this process. That's why athletes, fitness enthusiasts, and active adults often prioritize high-quality protein sources. Chicken remains one of the most popular choices because it's versatile, accessible, and nutrient-dense. Even if you're not an athlete,
Your body still repairs itself every day. Walking, gardening, working, carrying groceries, playing with children. All of these activities place demands on muscles and tissues, and proper nutrition helps support recovery from everyday life itself. But physical strength isn't the only thing nutrition influences, because food can affect something many people rarely connect to lunch: mood. Have you ever noticed how certain meals create memories? Not because they were perfect, but because they brought people together. Food is more than nutrition. It's culture, connection, comfort, celebration.
researchers continue exploring the relationship between nutrition and emotional well-being. While no single food guarantees happiness, balanced meals can help support stable energy and overall wellness. And there's another factor often overlooked: enjoyment matters. Meals that feel satisfying are often easier to maintain as part of a healthy lifestyle. This is one reason overly restrictive diets frequently fail. People eventually miss the foods they love. The hot honey chicken sandwich represents balance, flavor and nutrition, comfort and practicality, enjoyment and mindfulness. And that balance may be one of the most sustainable approaches to wellness. But what about sleep? Could the foods you eat during the day influence how you rest at night? The answer may surprise you. Sleep affects nearly every aspect of health: energy, mood, recovery, brain function, immune performance, everything. And while no sandwich can magically improve sleep, overall nutrition patterns play an important role. Balanced meals help support stable energy throughout the day. Stable energy may help support healthier daily rhythms. And healthier rhythms often contribute to better rest. Think about it. Your body thrives on consistency.
consistent movement, consistent sleep, consistent nutrition. The goal isn't finding a magical food. The goal is creating habits your body can rely on. And in the final chapters of our story,
we'll explore some surprising myths, common mistakes, and real-life stories from people who transformed their health simply by making smarter food choices. Because sometimes, the smallest changes create the biggest results. Let's talk about one of the biggest problems in modern nutrition: confusion. Every week there seems to be a new headline. One day a food is healthy, the next day it's not. One expert says eat more protein, another says avoid certain foods entirely. No wonder people feel overwhelmed. So let's clear up a few myths surrounding foods like the hot honey chicken sandwich. Myth number 1. All sandwiches are unhealthy. Not true. A sandwich is simply a format.
Its nutritional value depends on ingredients, preparation, and portion size. A sandwich loaded with quality protein, vegetables, and balanced portions looks very different from one built entirely around processed ingredients. Myth number 2. Honey is exactly the same as refined sugar. Not quite. Both contain sugars and should be consumed mindfully. However, honey also contains naturally occurring compounds not found in highly refined table sugar. That doesn't make honey magical, but it does make it different. Myth number 3. Spicy foods damage your health. For most healthy individuals, moderate spice can absolutely be part of a balanced diet.
in fact, many cultures around the world regularly enjoy spicy foods. Aliyah Salam always, individual tolerance matters. The truth is rarely found in extremes. And that's an important lesson for anyone trying to build a healthier lifestyle. Because the biggest obstacle isn't usually a specific food. It's misunderstanding the bigger picture. And speaking of mistakes, there's one common error that turns a potentially balanced meal into a nutritional disaster.
The first mistake is portion overload. Many restaurant meals today are dramatically larger than they were decades ago. Bigger isn't always better. The second mistake is ignoring vegetables. Some people order a sandwich, then remove every vegetable. Lettuce gone, tomatoes gone, onions gone. Unfortunately, that's where many valuable nutrients and fiber are found. The third mistake? Adding unnecessary extras. Multiple sauces, extra sugary drinks, large portions of highly processed side dishes. Suddenly, a balanced meal becomes something entirely different. Remember, it's not usually one decision that shapes health. It's the combination of decisions.
And now comes a question many viewers have probably been wondering about. When is the best time to enjoy a meal like this? For many people, lunch may be the ideal time. Why? Because the protein can help support energy and satisfaction throughout the afternoon. That doesn't mean dinner is wrong. Far from it. The best meal timing is the one that fits your lifestyle consistently. For pairings, simple is often best. A fresh salad, vegetables, fruit, sparkling water, unsweetened tea. These choices complement the sandwich without overwhelming it. Think of the sandwich as the main character. Everything else should support the story, not compete with it.
And speaking of stories, the next few minutes may be the most powerful part of this entire video. Because behind every nutrition fact, there's a human being, a real person, a real struggle, and sometimes a remarkable transformation. Michael was 52 years old, busy career, long workdays, constant stress. Like many Americans, convenience often determined his meals. Fast food, sugary snacks, energy crashes. Repeat. Then one day he noticed something troubling. Simple activities felt harder. His energy wasn't what it used to be. So he began making small changes. Not dramatic changes, small ones. He started choosing meals with more protein, more vegetables.
Better balance. Over time, he noticed something surprising. He felt fuller longer. His afternoon energy improved. And healthy eating suddenly felt sustainable.
not because he gave up everything he enjoyed, but because he learned how to build meals differently. Linda entered her 60s determined to stay active. She loved gardening, traveling, spending time with family. But she also realized something important. Healthy aging requires intention. She focused on protein, movement, vegetables, consistency. Years later, she often tells friends the same lesson. You don't need perfection. You need habits. Habits are what carry you through the decades. And in the final chapter of this video, we'll uncover one last powerful story, practical takeaways you can use immediately, and the message that may change the way you think about food forever. Several years ago, a man named James shared a story that stayed with many people who heard it. For most of his life, he viewed food in only two categories: healthy and unhealthy, good and bad. There was no middle ground. Whenever he tried to improve his health, he would follow strict diets. For a few weeks, everything went perfectly. Then reality arrived. Family dinners, birthdays, vacations, stressful workdays. Eventually, the diet would collapse, and he would feel like he had failed, again, and again, and again. Then one day, something changed. A friend asked him a simple question. What if health isn't about perfection? At first, James laughed, but the question stayed with him. What if health wasn't about eliminating every enjoyable food? What if it was about making slightly better choices, more often? Over time, James stopped chasing perfection. He focused on consistency. More protein, more vegetables, more mindful portions, more movement, more sleep, more balance. Years later, he described the result in a way that was beautifully simple. I stopped fighting food and started working with it. And perhaps that's one of the most important lessons in this entire video. Because food is not the enemy. Food is information. Food is fuel. Food is one of the ways we care for ourselves every single day.
So if you're going to enjoy a hot honey chicken sandwich, how can you make it work for your health goals? Here are a few practical strategies. Number 1, prioritize quality protein. Choose grilled or lightly breaded chicken whenever possible. Number 2, don't skip the vegetables. Add lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles. Every ingredient contributes something valuable. Number 3, consider a whole grain bun. Small improvements add up over time. Number 4, be mindful of portion sizes. Enjoy the meal. Don't rush it. Listen to your hunger signals. Number 5, think about the entire plate. Pair your sandwich with vegetables, fruit, or a fresh salad whenever possible. Number 6, focus on consistency rather than perfection. The healthiest meal in the world won't help much if it's followed by months of neglect. And one indulgent meal won't ruin your health if the rest of your lifestyle is balanced. Health is not built in a day. It's built through thousands of decisions made over a lifetime. When we began this journey, it seemed like we were talking about a sandwich. But by now, you've probably realized this story was never really about a sandwich. It was about something much bigger. The relationship between pleasure and health. The balance between enjoyment and responsibility. The idea that wellness doesn't have to feel restrictive. The hot honey chicken sandwich is simply a reminder. A reminder that food can be satisfying and nutritious, comforting and supportive, delicious and mindful. The goal isn't to find one perfect food, because that food doesn't exist. The goal is to build a pattern of choices that helps you feel strong, energized, and capable of living the life you want. And that's a goal worth pursuing, every single day.
Your body has carried you through every challenge you've ever faced, every success, every setback, every memory, every dream.
And the choices you make today help shape the journey ahead. Not just how long you live, but how well you live. So the next time you sit down to enjoy a meal, pause for a moment. Appreciate the ingredients. Appreciate the nourishment. Appreciate the opportunity to care for yourself one choice at a time. Because longevity isn't built through dramatic moments. It's built through ordinary moments repeated consistently. And sometimes, those moments begin with something simple, a sandwich. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who cares about living a healthier, stronger, and longer life. And remember, your future health is being written today. One meal. One habit. One choice at a time. We'll see you in the next video.